Welcome back to All Access Cape Cod. We're at the Cape Cinema in Dennis, and there is a movie going on. But I want to remind you, it is spring on Cape Cod, and of course that means it might be a little cold and a little rainy, but it's still time to get your gardens going. And who better to help us out than CL Fornari? Let's get ready to play in the dirt.
I'm CL Fornari, and I'm here today to tell you to start seeds. Now, I know that many of you are shy about growing plants from seed, but I want you to snap out of it because there are many reasons to grow plants from seed. First of all, you can grow plants that you can't find in your local garden center. Unusual perennials, unusual annuals, vegetables like purple Brussels sprouts. So that's one reason to grow from seed. The second reason to grow from seed is that it's less expensive. You can get 2 rows of beans for the same price that you could buy a 6-pack of beans. You have to start out with a good quality potting mix, seed starting mix. Now, how is seed starting mix different from regular potting mix? It doesn't have any pieces of bark. You don't need the same drainage in seed starting mix that you need in potting mix. Seed starting mix is mostly peat and vermiculite, and both of those hold onto the waters. And the most important thing to know about this is to get it wet ahead of time. Don't fill your pots with something like this that's dry, because what will happen when you go to water, you'll think that that water has permeated, but look what happens. If you go right underneath, it's dry. See, it's dry right here. For that reason, you want to water it first. Get on some garden gloves or some disposable gloves and mix it up. What are you going to use to put the seeds in? Well, you could recycle pots that you've collected as you planted annuals or perennials in the past. You could use pots made out of cow poop. You can buy now pots that are made out of coconut fiber. There's a 6-pack made out of coconut fiber. You could use plastic 6-packs. You can even use leftover cartons, yogurt containers. But remember, put drainage holes in them. If you're filling something like a plastic 6-pack, you want to first push it around like this. And then you might want to kind of gently tap it down because it's not gone all the way in. When you go to plant seeds, the general rule of thumb is that first of all, you need to read the directions. A seed packet will frequently tell you if that seed needs any special attention. And I'll show you a trick for getting 1 seed per container. Dip the paper envelope in the soil for a minute and it gets a little bit damp, and then I can use that to pick up a seed. You see, the seed just sticks on there. And so then I put it down in the center. Once you've got the seeds in the flat, if they're very fine and you don't want to cover them up, then just kind of tap them in with your fingers. Then you want to cover it with plastic, and you can either use a recycled dry cleaning bag, you can use saran wrap, like this, or you can even use a recycled piece of bubble wrap. Then we wait. For some seeds, they'll pop out and germinate within 3 or 4 days. Other seeds might take up to a month. And I think one of the most enjoyable parts of seed starting is coming to check on them every day with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and you peek in and you see if anything is starting to germinate. And if the plants have started to germinate, you take off the plastic right away. Even if not all of them have germinated, if they're starting to germinate, you want them to be able to breathe. Now this brings up another very important point, which is light. Once your seeds have germinated, they need light, and they need it as strong as possible. If you're fortunate enough to have a situation like this, or you have a slanted roof with clear panels, that will provide enough light for your new seedlings. If you have a south-facing window that isn't shaded by trees, that too will provide enough light. But if you don't have either of those things, the best thing to do is to get a regular fluorescent shop light fixture at your local hardware store and hang that above your seedling trays. You don't need special grow lights necessarily. You can use just plain fluorescent lights. I urge you this spring to try something from seed. If you have any questions, go to my website, gardenlady.com. There are all kinds of gardening articles there for you to read. Or give me a call on the radio on Saturday mornings, 95.1 FM WXTK. Have a wonderful spring. Get out into your garden. It's all happening in your own backyard.